Today I'll walk you through step by step how to extract proper espresso shot. As a beginner barista, right, you have some basic things you need to consider. Okay, now we have a lot of things to consider, but there are some basic ones you need to understand, like the dose, the yield, the ratio, and your time. So first I'll walk you through the process, then I'll explain. So to extract your espresso shot, you make sure your scale is always on. The scale is important, like I said before, it weighs a gram ideally, and also it takes away guesswork in the process. Now, if you need to change your recipe, or you need to upgrade your recipe, you know exactly what you're taking out and what you're bringing in, right? So first, you remove the water filter from the group head. As you can see, you have some water inside, you see, the water. Now, when we dose the coffee now, when we grind the coffee right now, automatically extraction will start because water is a solvent. Okay, and coffee contains soluble materials. So anytime the water and the coffee comes together, automatically extraction will start. So to avoid that, it's important first you always clean, always dry and clean. Make sure it is dry and clean like that. Okay. The next step, you have to weigh the portafilter. You weigh the portafilter, so whatever thing comes inside the basket should be the exact amount of coffee that you want, like I told you yesterday. Okay. So when you put, you always stir to 0. So anything will come inside, you have to weigh it, right? Then we grind our coffee now. We will start with 18 grams of coffee. 18 grams, so you weigh. When you grind, you have to confirm. You have to confirm. If it is more, you add. No, you reduce. If it is less, you can add. And now it is less, we need 18 grams, right? So add more. Let me check again. Confirm. 17 grams, okay. This is 18 grams. Okay. Now it's confirmed. The next thing they call distribution. Distribution is part of the quality. As you see here, you see we have less coffee, right? You see we have less coffee, and here we have more coffee. So if you press the coffee, what happened? Everything's look the same. It will look the same, perfect, like it is okay. But because this machine extract the coffee with a very high pressure, around 9 bars, so the water will definitely look this less resistant area and pass through. So here you have what we call under extract or uneven extraction, and that will be a problem. So that is why we always try to distribute the coffee properly. Okay. Now when you distribute the coffee properly, you can turn the coffee directly. But because the industry try to improve quality in a cup, so they produce things like the OCD, which is the distribution tool, right? So you place your thing here, and then just like that. And then you have this smooth surface. Then you want to press the coffee. Now you don't want to press too hard. Based on the coffee industry, it's around 30 pounds, okay? But I don't have that kind of scale here. But when you press and you feel like it is not going anymore, you can stop. Okay. Now the worst thing you will do, now when you turn, you remove it, that is it. Now the worst thing you will do when you turn your coffee and then you hit the portafilter like that, you see, it creates cracks. See, it creates cracks. Now with these cracks, it will also cause channeling because the water will look those holes and pass through, right? So it's important to just stir and then you will leave it. Okay. The next thing is to polish your group head. You polish the group head for some couple of reasons. Number one, to have clearance, to remove any leftover around here, maybe make the previous coffee. And most importantly, for some machines, when you make coffee for a period of time without making coffee, the water around the group head, around this area, is a little bit cold, drop in temperature. So when you polish the machine, you allow the water to run, to bring in the right temperature. Okay. For some other machines, when you make coffee for a period of time without making coffee, the water around here is too hot. So as well as you polish to allow the machine to run, to bring in the right temperature. Okay, that's why we always polish. Because if you don't polish, if the water is not in the right temperature, you have inconsistent extraction. Then you place your portafilter on the group head. You take your scale. So the industry do have a guide how to extract espresso, which is 1:2 ratio. So You take your cup, you place it there, and then you tear your scale to 0, then you start your extraction button. So the time is there, and you check your ml as well. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, you see as it's dropping, right?
Yeah.
So normally we needed to have 25 seconds here, and then we have around 36 ml because we use 18 grams of coffee. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So you see, it's already how many seconds? 36, 37 seconds, 38 seconds, 39 seconds, 40 seconds. And then we have just 10 ml, right? So we stop. And then we take away this one. So, you keep it there. I'll explain it to you. You remove your portafilter. This is a knock box like I told you before. You hit it here. Then the proper way to keep this one, you can and then you place it back like that. So now let's talk about this particular extraction. Okay, like I said before, the coffee industry do have a guide how to extract proper espresso, which is 25 to 30 seconds depending your dose you start with. Okay, for example, we start with 18 grams of coffee, and then we had more time and less yield. It means it is called over extracted. The coffee will taste bitter, lack of sweetness, to taste dry, right? So to fix that, you come to your grinder. Now, one of the things you need to understand is you don't need to know a particular grinder, because out there we have a lot of espresso grinders. Okay, what you need to know is to understand what happens when the coffee is over extracted, what happens when the coffee is under extracted. So now the coffee is over extracted. It means the contact time between the water and the coffee is too much. So now to fix that problem, we'll come to our grinder. Now most of the grinders to go fine is clockwise, and to go coarse is anti-clockwise. But this grinder is opposite. For this grinder to go fine is anti-clockwise. To go coarse is clockwise. So now we need to go coarse. We go coarse to make the particles to be bigger. That's why I say coarse. To go fine, we make it more smaller. Okay. So now we'll do the same process again. So we remove this one. One of the things you need to also understand is anytime you change the grind size, you have to grind at least one portafilter and then you throw it. The reason is because when you grind coffee around the chamber here, some coffee will stay there. You understand? So if you don't purge, you have the same extraction. So what we'll do, like this, and then we can throw it like that. Right? Then we'll do the same process again. We weigh the portafilter, we tear it, right? We grind up. We confirm it. 16 grams. Check it again. Okay. So now it's 18.8, right? It means it's too much, right? We need 18 grams. So you can remove small. And then we have 18 grams. We distribute again. Use your thing. And then you press. Then you pour. You see the process? Same procedure.
Okay.
You place it there. You take your thing. You place it there. You take your cup that you need to extract your espresso shot. You place it. You tear your scale. And then the machine will do the job for you now. Now still 18 grams, but see this one is the flow is different now.
Yeah.
Now you see we have 13 seconds, 14, but we need 36 ml, right? Okay. 1:2 ratio. So here we'll stop 21 seconds. So 21 seconds means the coffee now is under extracted. Yeah.
Which one will you look before you stop the machine?
Both. But most importantly, you look the ml.
Okay.
Most importantly, you look the ml.
No, this one is 38, right?
Yeah, this one is 38 ml, and here we have just 21 seconds. Okay, so you look the ml more than the time. You get a point. The ratio for espresso is 1:2 ratio. So if you have the grams coffee, which is the 18 grams coffee that we had, like the dry powder, and then to extract the liquid 36 ml, it means 18 times 2. So based on the coffee industry, we do have a guide how to extract proper espresso, which is 25 to 30 seconds. That's the first thing. Depending on the dose you start with, for example, we start with 18 grams of coffee, right? And then we have 38 ml as a liquid in the cup. And the time was around 21 seconds when you notice the time we extract. So here, when you extract the coffee, you focus first on the ml.
Yes.
Because the time you adjust it from the grinder, the focus on the ml, don't have too much or less ml.
Yeah.
You get the point. Now the previous one we did, we had very less output but more time. Then we adjust the grinder, then we brew again, and then we have this one now. So this one now is called under extracted coffee because it is below 25 seconds. And I'll show you. You take your thing again, you remove, then you clean. Then you come back to your grinder. Like I said before, you don't need to know a particular grinder, 0. So you come, like I said before, this grinder is opposite. Now the coffee is under extracted, we need to go fine. So to go fine, we'll do like this, like that, just like one click. So the idea behind what you're doing here, because this coffee is under extracted, it means the contact time between the water and the coffee is not enough to extract more of the sugars to balance of the extraction. So this coffee will taste sour. Oh, Jesus. so this coffee will taste sour, but normally, if somebody like a professional barista or someone really advanced in the industry, we don't judge a coffee like this. Because you as the beginner baristas, you don't have the ability to taste. That is why we always extract only with the time. Only in the future, you have the ability to taste. Like for me now, I can taste coffee. I'll tell you, okay, this coffee is not good because it's like this, right? So again, we do. So always make sure you weigh your portafilter. Always make sure you weigh. Then you distribute again. Then use your OCD like that. Then you turn. Okay, you have this. Then you port. Replace. Okay. You see, just the fact that we change the grind size, you see the extraction reaction. You see, the flow is different now.
Yeah.
You see, the flow is different. You see? You see? So let's say we use 20 grams, we'll have this 40 ml, and then in 25 to 30 seconds, like the time was 25 seconds, and then we have like 40 ml approximately. We use 20 grams of coffee. You get the point? Okay. We can keep this one again. So you see how we do it, right? This is how you make a lot of espresso until you get what you want. Okay? So this is what we call to dial in espresso, to calibrate. Most of the time when they'll call you, can you calibrate? Can you make coffee? Yeah, can you calibrate? This is exactly what they're asking. Now, calibration is in 2 phases. Okay, we have 2 phases for this one. The first one is this is what we are doing right now. So you have the coffee, you have never used the coffee, then you try to get the sweet spot. They call it the sweet spot. The sweet spot means for you as beginners, you get what you want, like say this extraction approximately, which is 25 to 30 seconds. You have 40 ml, you start with 20 grams, right? And then for me as professional, right, I have to only taste the coffee to know when the coffee is good, and I leave it like that. Now when you get what you actually want, that you feel like it is okay for you, that is when you can now store this information inside the machine. So anytime you have the same grind size, you press that button that you calibrated, you have the same output time and again. What the reason? If you work in a coffee shop, sometimes you are busy, right? You have this to make, aside smoothie, maybe to get some dessert, you need to talk to some customers. You can't do it manually always. But for your training, you always use manual. You understand? When you start to work, you mostly use the volumetric buttons, because when you press it, the machine will calculate the amount of water used to brew the coffee, store it, and then replicate it. This is what I'll show you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
How to program the volumetrics. But till then, this is how you extract your espresso shot.